Well, Jason Marczak is the director of Latin American issues at the Atlantic Council, and he joins us to discuss the Rousseff political saga. Very exciting there in the streets.
Very exciting, Susan.
What's your reaction to the vote so far?
Well, I think the vote so far is not unexpected. I mean, there's been a constant vote tally that the one of the leading Brazilian newspapers, O Estado de São Paulo, has been doing, and their latest tally was that there are 332 votes in favor of impeachment, and as your correspondent said, you know 342. So it's going to be very difficult for President Rousseff to survive the day with today's vote in the chamber.
So next up, the Senate. You know, if a majority approves it there, Rousseff will have to step down possibly for 180 days to defend herself in the impeachment trial. You know, what are the implications of this? Can she come out of this?
Essentially, no. I mean, essentially, once the Senate is likely to have a vote by mid-May, potentially May 11th is a date that's been thrown around. Once that happens, as you said, 6 months for the trial to happen in the Senate and a vote 180 days later. And during that period, she can still stay in the presidential palace. She'll continue to collect the salary of a president. But it's very difficult to rebound after being temporarily suspended. I mean, Vice President Temer will essentially start to lead a new government in that time period.
Okay, she says that he was obviously one of the ringleaders of this coup against her. Is she right that she's had some defectors from within her camp?
Well, yeah, she's had a variety of defectors within her camp, including an additional 3 political parties this past week. And famously, earlier this week, Vice President Temer had a recording, a 14-minute audio recording that circulated, was not probably meant to circulate at that point, talking about the government of unity that he would try to bring together. But Vice President Temer, is also could potentially face charges himself, and he is not any more popular than she is. The latest poll had 61% of Brazilians favoring impeachment of her, 58% favor impeachment of him.
Opponents blame Rousseff for the worst recession in decades. Obviously, Jason, this massive bribery and corruption scandal. What is her best defense? She has come out and addressed her critics, but what is her best defense moving forward?
Well, her best, insofar as the current situation in which Brazil is in, I mean, the economic situation, the 3.5% economic contraction that's expected again this year, the worst recession in decades. This is a result of the post-commodity boom. I mean, Brazil grew largely in the last decade based on the huge commodity exports, principally to China, among other countries. As that demand has dwindled, Brazil has faced economic challenges, partly because I think a lot of the reforms that should have been done a couple years ago were not done at that time because of the commodity boom that the country was experiencing.
Let's talk about the protests and the people in the street. Give us a little color. Is this like a national holiday there? And is this really a movement against her?
There is fervent passion in the streets, not just in Brasilia, in Sao Paulo, and Rio, all across the country. And it's not just about her. I mean, I think that this is missing about this. This is the Brazilian people fed up with the political class overall. I mean, as I mentioned before, Vice President Temer could also potentially face corruption allegations. The Speaker of the House as well, over half of the members of Congress are potentially involved in the current Lava Jato and the car wash scandal. So there is a movement now to basically throw everybody out, not just Dilma.
Alrighty, Jason, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Nice to see you as
Thank you.
always.